I have a pit that doesn't have the ability to have some type of a thermal jacket, I just use a welding blanket right over the top of it.
You bet. And I wouldn't worry too much about those fluctuations either. And your oven in your home will fluctuate, so it's really about just paying attention to that final finish temp.
Yeah, because you're gonna, again, you might run through pellets a little quicker, so watch your hopper, but you're going to get your meat to the finished temp. You just want to make sure that it gets there. If it's super windy out, maybe put a wind block, put a folding table or something up next to where that air comes in so that you're not getting a cold draft right into the pit. But in general, you'll be able to cook on that thing. And the nice thing about a pellet cooker is it does have controls that are designed to manage temperature, and it's going to work harder and harder to get to your set temp. So, for example, if it's sitting at 150 and it's not climbing and you've got it set at 300, it's going to increase that feed rate and just continue to do that until you get to the temp you want.
Andy, I'm just going to call you for all of my tips and tricks. I'm just going to have you on speed dial. Andy, what do I do?
I thought you already did. I thought you just used me for all of that, Todd. So anyway, thank you, Nicholas, for that question. And we will get a shirt headed your way to Hartford. And we'll also get you a copy of the Barbecue Bible from Stephen Reichlin. It is the 25th anniversary of that. He signed some copies for us when he was on a few weeks back. So we are spreading the love with those. And coming up next, we are going to be talking with the hardcore carnivore, author and content creator, Jess Pryles. From Australia to Austin, we're going to dig into the meat of some great topics. Check out her website at jesspryles.com. You can see her amazing line of products at hardcorecarnivore.com. And when you're out at the Jess Pryles site, go ahead and click and subscribe because you're going to want to get access to all of her awesome content that she has available. So coming up next, Jess Pryles, right here on Barbecue Radio Network.
You have a better recipe for when you grill. Better ingredients, better cuts of meat, and because you're using a grill from Holstein Manufacturing, well, a better grill. You take grilling seriously, and at Holstein Manufacturing, we make a serious grill. Find your new grill now at HolsteinMFG.com.
We build a grill, Holstein Manufacturing.
Holstein Manufacturing, we build the grill.
I'm Andrew Saul, Commissioner of Social Security. Beware of telephone scammers pretending to be government employees. Real Social Security employees will never threaten you. Callers threatening you with arrest or other legal action and demanding money are not from us. If you receive a call like this, hang up, do not provide them with any form of payment or information. Report the call at oig.ssa.gov.
3 tours driving Humvees in Afghanistan.
6 years treating soldiers.
12 years flying choppers.
When my sister came back from her last tour in Afghanistan, she didn't want to talk about it, but she knew I was there to listen.
My son saved lives as a medic in the military, and I always remind him how much his service meant to our country.
Sometimes my husband still has difficult memories. They can be overwhelming. With the Veterans Crisis Line, I know where to turn when we need support.
I made the call and got support for my sister.
I called because I was concerned about my son. We got him connected to care, and it's made a difference.
The Veterans Crisis Line is here for all veterans and their loved ones. Call 1-800-273-8255 and press 1 or chat online at veteranscrisisline.net.
When in drought, use your water smarts. Consider these simple tips to save water at home. Follow rules your community has put into place to restrict water use. Check for leaks in your faucets, toilets, and shower heads. Replace water-wasting fixtures with high-performing WaterSense labeled models. Take a sprinkler break or use WaterSmart landscaping techniques. Get creative and find ways to reuse water rather than wasting it. For more ways to use your water smarts, visit watersmarthays.com.
Hi everyone, this is Casey from Chestnut Street Floral. I would like to wish all of you a joyous holiday season. Thank you for supporting us this year, and we look forward to serving you in 2024.
Carbon monoxide, or CO, is a silent killer. It's a deadly gas with no scent, color, or taste. Common CO sources are gas furnaces, propane space heaters, gas grills, and portable generators used indoors, and exhaust from automobiles. It's important to make sure you have a working CO detector in your home. Change your CO detector's batteries each year and check your detector's expiration date and replace as needed. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
Get ahead of the fall rush with Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes. Don't wait until the chill sets in. Our skilled technicians are standing by to make sure your home is ready for the changing season. Schedule your plumbing and heating system checkup now and experience worry-free comfort all season long. Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes.
Don't worry, because you work.
Meanwhile, at Herman Physical Therapy.
Hey, Troy, I still meet people that think they need a doctor's order for physical therapy. Well, Kirby, maybe it's time to tell people again they can see PT first. Any ideas? Maybe we just get on the radio and say something like, hey, you don't need a doctor's order for PT. Kirby, that's brilliant. Herman Physical Therapy, offering free consultations. We get results and make it fun. Oh, and you don't need a doctor's order for physical therapy.
Good for the body, good for the soul.
Change the way you live by changing the way you sleep. Hey, it's Ryan from the Mattress Hub, and at your local Hayes Mattress Hub, we work hard to find the best mattress options to deliver the healthy sleep you deserve. And going on right now at our Mattress Hub in Hayes is our Black Friday savings event, where you'll find all the best brands in sleep on sale, including Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, and more, up to 50% off, and Sealy Hot Buys as low as $2.99. Plus, you can find America's most recommended bed, Tempur-Pedic, where we give you up to $500 off in savings, free gifts with purchase, free delivery, and no interest financing up to 60 months. Shop local, save big, and it's all backed by our famous one-year comfort guarantee. Hurry into your Hayes Mattress Hub for our annual Black Friday savings event and let us change the way you sleep forever. Find your local Hayes Mattress Hub at 4320 Vine or online at mattresshub.com.
Follow the cheat sheet to the Mattress Hub.
The Taco Shop at Hayes has been serving the area since 1970. November specials include Taco Burger, $2.49, Taco Supreme, $2.59, and Chicken Burrito, $4.79. Call for non-contact delivery or download the app today.
Come on down to the Taco Shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. Taco Shop.
This year, Viera Wireless is bringing you our best Black Friday deals all season long. Starting now, come get huge savings on the iPhone 14 and 15, as well as Samsung and Google devices. From phones on us to unbeatable BOGO deals, you'll find something for everyone. That all comes with premium data and hotspot usage that's actually unlimited. Our holiday savings are valid for both new and current customers, but the offers end soon. So hurry into your local Viera store today. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
To the award-winning Barbecue Radio Network, I'm Andy Groneman, along with T-Bone, our executive producer, and my co-host, American Royal Invitational winner, Pork and Brisket World Champion Todd Johns. And we have a returning guest this week. It is always exciting to have her on the show. Jess is a meat maven. She co-founded the Australasian Barbecue Alliance. She's an author, a meat expert, and you can find all of her amazing content at JessPryles.com. That is JessPryles.com, including her internationally acclaimed hardcore carnivore seasoning line. Jess, welcome to the show.
That's a heck of an introduction, Andy. Thank you. I love it.
So last time you were on, you had just launched the burnt end sauce as part of your seasoning line. How's that going? Give me the update.
Yeah, it's going great. You know, it's the first sauce and the only sauce in our line, and it was very specifically designed for burnt ends, not just a generic barbecue sauce. Of course, I've managed to find a million different uses for it as these things go. But oh my gosh, it's just been so well received, and people are really into the flavor. But it's actually all about the texture. We really engineered it with the right ingredients that it will hold the same texture when you reheat it, which a lot of barbecue sauces won't. So yeah, everyone's stoked on it.
And that's what was great. Last time we really got to kind of dive into the behind the scenes of that and talk about, you know, when sauces break and what happens. And, you know, speaking of that, you were finishing up your meat science certificate at ISU last time we were talking too, and literally, we just love to dive into that. So, are you done? Are you officially complete with that program?
I am officially done. I'm officially a meat scientist. My professor said that I am, so therefore I am.
Well, exactly. So now what I want to do is, since you are a meat scientist now, what is the most asked question that you get as a professional that can obviously talk all things meat?
Yeah, I do so much meat myth busting online that people now send me things and always tag me in questions. And I think the one that keeps coming up that confuses people most is just our all around frozen meat and defrosting and refreezing meat. How many times can you do it? How long is it okay? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, it is interesting. So when you think about like a commercially frozen meat product, it's usually blast chilled, right? So you're not breaking through the cell walls with these long, stringy, ice crystals. The structure doesn't have time to form versus freezing or refreezing at home where you might have a little bit longer process to get that cold. What does that do? What's the texture and the juiciness change? How does all that change?
So that blast chill is everything for what we call drip loss, which is definitely the juiciness. It's how much moisture that piece of meat can retain because, of course, it's made up of 75% water. But I think more than anything, the biggest overarching thing is you can refreeze and defrost a piece of meat as many times as you want. It's never going to affect the safety. It is only going to affect the meat quality with things like what we were talking about just then in terms of how juicy it's going to be, or maybe it's got a little bit of freezer burn and start getting oxidative rancidity. So that's going to develop some off flavors. But I think that the main thing is, like, people are concerned, and I know in my early days have probably thrown something out of the freezer just assuming, it's been in there for 2 years, must be bad. And it's absolutely not. And so I kind of encourage people, go and dig through the very deepest, darkest drawer of your freezer and fish something out for dinner. But where else it becomes important? It becomes important if you're big into barbecue, when you see meat on sale at the grocery store and you want to take advantage of it, but maybe you don't have, a spare 18 hours to cook that brisket right then.
That's exactly right.
So you can freeze it, and then maybe you've defrosted it thinking this is going to be the weekend. And then, of course, other things happen. And then as long as you've kept it under 40 degrees in that safe zone, you can freeze and defrost as much as you want. From a meat nerd point of view, because I know you have a lot of meat nerd listeners, I would say that the main consideration is if you're trying to wet age, just be aware that aging stops once you freeze it. So if you're going to just hold it in a vacuum seal in the fridge, especially for things like brisket, pork butts, you will be aging it, but as soon as you freeze it, that aging pauses.
And so, like, I pull something out of the freezer, and what about all of that liquid in the cryo bag? If I see 2 cups of liquid in the cryo bag? What's that telling me?
It's telling you that you've had a lot of drip loss. So you can expect that it's probably been an older piece of meat. It's been in that vacuum seal a little longer, and unfortunately, it does mean that that's no longer juicy water that's in the meat itself. But I wouldn't start panicking at that stage. It can still be a great eating experience, especially depending on the cut and especially depending on the grade, because oftentimes the more fat that's present and the marbling can give a mouthfeel of juiciness even when that actual water is lost.
And having had restaurants, 4 restaurants for 10 years, we call that money, is what we call the liquid in the bottom. It's purge that, just doesn't give you the yield in it from a commercial standpoint, but meat quality, definitely. Any tips that you have for, how to best freeze, zero oxygen packaging, what would be your tips?
You definitely want to try and use vacuum seal. And ironically, even those vacuum sealers that a lot of us who hunt have, they're not actually the same barrier as the processors are using. So they're not going to last as long as a commercially vacuum sealed product. And you should be aware of that. And when I say last as long, of course, again, we're just talking about quality. It just means that product's going to be susceptible to ice crystals and freezer burn. And the other thing is, as y'all have brought up, you want to try and chill it as fast as possible to prevent large ice crystals from forming. It's going to be hard for the majority of us because I do not have a blast chiller in my home. But if you do have a mate who has a blast chiller, I would take around a bottle of wine and your best pieces of meat and take advantage of it.
You know, at all my classes, I always ask people to start a GoFundMe for my blast chiller, and I have yet to have anybody do that. But, you know,
it's because you haven't made it attractive enough. You know, you got to give it a good name.
Yeah, that's true. You know, when I'm freezing like a whole brisket, I'll clear the racks around me and I make sure I've got it on a wire rack versus a piece of glass in the freezer. Some people have like glass shelves. You want to use a wire rack type shelf so that you can get air circulating around it. And I'll put a little battery operated fan and a block of dry ice in the regular freezer. And you would be amazed at how much that helps you get a big cut of meat like a brisket chilled down.
Yeah, when we would buy cases and put them in the freezer, we'd put them up where the fans in the freezer are blowing that airflow and turn them and all that kind of stuff.
Yep. Well, we are talking with Jess Pryles. Follow her exploits across all of the social with her handle at Jess Pryles. Check out her products at hardcorecarnivore.com. And while you're out there on the interwebs, don't forget to go to jesspryles.com. Subscribe so you don't miss out any of the meaty goodness by getting her recipes right to your inbox. So do you know what the JKF method is? If you don't stick around, epic steak crusts, more frozen facts, up next with Jess Pryles here on Barbecue Radio Network.
Barbecue, every pitmaster should start with the best beef and pork possible. That's why the top-rated barbecue restaurants from Texas to North Carolina choose Creekstone Farms premium Black Angus beef and all-natural Duroc heritage pork. Go to shop.creekstonefarms.com and get the same briskets, burgers, ribs, and steaks served around the country, delivered right to your door. Use promo code RADIO and get 10% off your entire order.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This year, Viera Wireless is bringing you our best Black Friday deals all season long. Starting now, come get huge savings on the iPhone 14 and 15, as well as Samsung and Google devices. From phones on us to unbeatable BOGO deals, you'll find something for everyone. That all comes with premium data and hotspot usage that's actually unlimited. Our holiday savings are valid for both new and current customers, but the offers end soon. So hurry into your local Viera store today. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
Get ahead of the fall rush with Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes. Don't wait until the chill sets in. Our skilled technicians are standing by to make sure your home is ready for the changing season. Schedule your plumbing and heating system checkup now and experience worry-free comfort all season long. Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes.
Don't wait, because you're worth it.
Pick up a class this spring or earn your associate degree online for less than half the cost of a university with Barton Online. We're always enrolling so you can get started anytime. We have 16-week and 8-week sessions starting January 22nd and 4 more sessions throughout the rest of the semester. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
The PTs are in. Sponsored by Herman Physical Therapy and Wellness.
Hey Troy, do you know what the #1 recommended treatment is for chronic low back pain?
Pain meds?
Nope.
Surgery?
Nope. Come on, Troy. Why am I asking you this on the radio?
Now I'm with you. Physical therapy is the best treatment for chronic low back pain.
That's right. We find and treat the cause of low back pain, not just the symptoms.
Herman Physical Therapy. We get results and make it fun.
Good for the body, good for the soul.
Everyone wants an attractive landscape at their home, but having a beautiful landscape doesn't have to use a lot of water or cost a lot of money. Use Water Smart Landscaping to create the perfect look while still conserving water. Plan before you plant to ensure you're maximizing space and minimizing the need for water. Go native or choose plants that require less water to live. And finally, maintain healthy soil to help maximize water retention. Get schooled on a Water Smart landscape at watersmarthays.com.
When is the last time you've changed your furnace filter? A clogged or dirty filter restricts airflow and makes your furnace work harder and costs you more money to run it. Good filters cost less than $20 and they last 60 to 90 days. So change your furnace filter soon. Your wallet will thank you and your home will be cleaner and more efficient. A money-saving tip from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
The Taco Shop in Hayes has been serving the area since 1970. November specials include Taco Burger, $2.49, Taco Supreme, $2.59, and Chicken Burrito, $4.79. Call for non-contact delivery or download the app today.
Come on down to the taco shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. Taco shop.
This is two-time World Barbecue Champion and host of Barbecue Radio Network, Andy Groneman, and I want to invite you to listen to America's #1 barbecue radio show with myself and my co-host, four-time World Barbecue Champion, Todd Johns.
That's right, Andy. Barbecue Radio Network leads the way with Barbecue Hall of Fame guests as well as other world champions dedicated to raising the game for backyard grillers and smokers everywhere.
Barbecue Radio Network gets cooking at 10:30 Sunday mornings on this MyTown Media station.
KXNC, Nest City, Hayes, Great Bend, La Crosse. This is KISS 104.7. You could be driving from the Brett Spa Zoo in Great Bend to Pizza Plus in Nest City, and KISS 104.7 would still be jamming on your radio. Now that's a lot of music.
The #1 hit music station. 104.7. Kiss FM.
With my co-host, Pitmaster Todd Johns, our executive producer, T-Bone, and I'm your host, Andy Groneman. And we are back talking with Jess Pryles, and we have mentioned her award-winning seasonings and lots of great content, which includes the cookbook, Hardcore Carnivore. You can head over to hardcorecarnivore.com where you can pick up a signed copy of that cookbook. But we've been talking meat and how to manage it frozen, and we've got some other tips and tricks to hit on in this segment, but make sure you subscribe to get all of the recipes and articles and meaty bits at JessPryles.com. Welcome back again, Jess. Let's go ahead and dive right back in.
Let's do it. Let's get to the meaty bits.
That's right, the meaty bits. So we were talking about, cooking frozen meat and kind of managing, that process. And so I pulled that meat out of the fridge and it's got all of that purge and drip loss in it. What can I do to minimize the effects of that in my cook? Are there some tips that I can, make sure that steak is somewhat juicy and finishes nicely and has good texture still?
It's a really interesting question because obviously there is scientific applications that you can do to the meat. There are certain chemicals and additives like sodium erythorbate, like phosphates, that can return moisture. It's basically the same concept as brining, but obviously then brining is going to change the texture of the meat. Right. And that's how we make pastrami, for example, or corned beef. I definitely want to let people know that if you see a little bit of juice in your bag, do not panic. Don't ring alarms. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a bad steak. It doesn't mean that you have to take some kind of action to correct that steak, because oftentimes, especially if you've let it defrost for a long time in your refrigerator, you will have gotten some effects of aging as well, which can counteract the lack of juiciness by increasing tenderness too. But it's funny, I know that in the barbecue world right now, there is more accessibility to a lot of these additives like nitrates, like erythorbate, like phosphate. But what's weird is on the industry side of things, it's really heavily regulated to the point where if you go into like the university meat lab, they have to have a logbook for their nitrates because it's toxic when used in large amounts. So
Yeah,
they
you have to have
obviously
a
want
HACCP
people
plan to make
record it.
bacon, right? You have to have a HACCP plan to make bacon. I mean, commercially, you do have to pay close attention to how you use those kind of products.
Well, the issue is if you use too much nitrates, and this is what was happening in the 70s, a compound called nitrosamine can form when heat is applied to the bacon that has like a certain percentage of nitrates added. And the nitrosamine is the cancerous compound, or carcinogenic compound, rather. And so they learned that by decreasing the level, they can avoid the formation of nitrosamine. Therefore, even though bacon, this is where it all becomes, you hear bacon being the scapegoat for everything. Yes, it's theoretically possible that if you put too many nitrates in, you could have nitrosamine form, and therefore it would be a carcinogen. But it doesn't happen because it's so heavily regulated, right?
Yeah, correct.
But when you're making it at home, it's something you need to be really careful of. And I know in competition as well, a lot of people use it sometimes to, I guess, fake a smoke ring, even though you're told not to judge the smoke ring.
And
So here's a question for you, and I'm anxious to hear your take on this. So, we travel and we teach cure camps and do some of that. And one of the things that is more scary to me than, just going out and buying that bag of nitrate or nitrite, Prog 2 or whatever, is you've got this movement of natural bacon, right? Which means they're using, celery juice powder and cherry powders and things to essentially still create that nitrate and nitrite reaction and do those things. But those are super hard to regulate. How in the world do you manage those kind of things? What's your advice for folks that are maybe looking at some of those natural products or trying to use them to get around using a nitrate?
So it's interesting because at the end of the day, those are still nitrates. They're just not purified and concentrated, right?
Correct.
So it's naturally, if you read the
Naturally
packaging
occurring.
on uncured bacon, exactly, other than those naturally occurring. They're actually right now debating changing those so you can't call it uncured. I think natural is one thing, but the whole premise is that you shouldn't be calling cured bacon uncured bacon because it is still cured to a degree. But for the home user, which is what you're getting at, those natural powders like the cherry, the celery powder, celery seed, the issue with it is that it only has a very low amount of nitrite in it, or nitrate in it rather. And so the problem is you might not get a proper cure on that product, which then has an issue if you're trying to get a long shelf life out of it. So basically, you're not properly preserving that product. And like anyone who hasn't sealed a mason jar full of canned goods properly and found it to be tremendously moldy when they've opened it, same thing can happen with your meat.
Yeah, that particular topic for me, if somebody thinks they're doing the right thing, it's really hard to, because you can't really gauge the proper amount of your nitrates in a celery powder. So it just makes it a lot harder for that home user to try and leverage anything like that. So I'm glad that you said that, because that's exactly what worries me, as somebody that thinks they're out and using a product the right way, they might not be. So
I feel like it's like antibiotics. It's like saying like, oh, well, I'm feeling better and it's better for me to only take 7 days, not 10 days, not realizing that if you don't take the whole course, you're actually developing an immunity. It's that same sort of concept of you're not doing yourself a favor by using a product, because there's cons to that product as well.
Oh yeah. So we were talking, and we went down a rabbit hole, everybody. But we were talking about no. That's a great rabbit hole to go down, because it's super interesting to me, and that's really all that matters.
It is, Andy. We're all there for you, buddy.
Yeah, that's right. So, but what I wanted to talk about was cooking that steak that we thawed. So the JKF method. Give us a little insight there, because that's kind of. You kind of brought that out to everybody and made a little splash with that, not recently, but you brought it back from, say, versus a reverse sear.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not new. There are chefs who have touted it. It's just how I found myself naturally cooking. I found myself moving away from reverse sear and naturally cooking with JKF, which is literally just keep flipping. And to flip the steak often, it's best over high heat charcoal grilling. It gets you a really aggressive sear, which is what I like on my steaks, because you're getting that Maillard reaction, you're developing flavor compounds, you're developing scent compounds, all of which contribute to our eating experience. And I found that I could have an incredible ribeye with a great kind of steakhouse crust on it in like 15 minutes instead of an hour for the reverse sear, and then maybe being a bit tentative with the actual sear part of it because you're so paranoid about overcooking. now that you've got that perfect edge to edge, which is when I very first started cooking, what I found myself doing. I found myself being so focused on the medium rare inside that I wasn't doing a proper sear justice, and you're just robbing yourself of flavor.
Yeah, I mean, and do you have a temperature that you like different for, say, a ribeye versus a strip? What's your take on that from a texture and mouthfeel perspective? What temp do you take a ribeye to versus a strip?
I mean, it's this, as you know, it's the same muscle, so I don't think that those are that different. Ribeye, of course, has a lot more intermuscular fat, actually, so you're going to have to render that down. Whereas the strip, you'll find it on the outside. But I find it more prevalent in steaks like a tri-tip, for example. I always take my tri-tips to like a 138. They're a little tougher, they're quite lean, and I just think that they do better leaning towards the medium side of medium rare. I would say that a culotte is the same too.
Well, thank you so much, Jess. Head on over to JessPryles.com and check out all the recipes, videos, and products there. Follow all the smoke and fun and the social media at her handle, at Jess Pryles. Thanks again, and coming up, we're going to be talking with Todd right here on Barbecue Radio Network.
Ingredients, better cuts of meat, and because you're using a grill from Holstein Manufacturing, well, a better grill. You take grilling seriously, and at Holstein Manufacturing, we make a serious grill. Find your new grill now at HolsteinMFG.com.
We build a grill, Holstein Manufacturing.
Holstein Manufacturing, we build the grill.
I didn't want to talk. She just sat with me. That was all I really needed.
We got back. One day he called me out of the blue, and it's comforting to know that I always can count on him to have my back.
She called me from time to time. I really didn't think I needed any help.
It took me from being really depressed to feeling like somebody cared to give me some hope. Just that one text.
Be there. Your call, your presence, your words, your support. Be there and help save a life. Learn more about preventing suicide at veteranscrisisline.net.
Get started with a career in healthcare through Barton Community College's Pharmacy Technician program. Gain the skills you need to assist pharmacists with the day-to-day demands of a pharmacy. Classes are 100% online and include real-world experiences at a pharmacy near you. Join this essential field in as little as 2 semesters with the flexibility of online classes. Now enrolling. Learn more at pharmtech.bartoncccc.edu.
Carbon monoxide, or CO, is a silent killer. It's a deadly gas with no scent, color, or taste. Common CO sources are gas furnaces, propane space heaters, gas grills, and portable generators used indoors, and exhaust from automobiles. It's important to make sure you have a working CO detector in your home. Change your CO detector's batteries each year, and check your detector's expiration date and replace as needed. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
Meanwhile, at Herman Physical Therapy,
Hey Troy, I still meet people that think they need a doctor's order for physical therapy. Well, Kirby, maybe it's time to tell people again they can see PT first. Any ideas? Maybe we just get on the radio and say something like, hey, you don't need a doctor's order for PT. Kirby, that's brilliant. Herman Physical Therapy, offering free consultations. We get results and make it fun. Oh, and you don't need a doctor's order for physical therapy.
Good for the body, good for the soul.
This year, Viera Wireless is bringing you our best Black Friday deals all season long. Starting now, come get huge savings on the iPhone 14 and 15, as well as Samsung and Google devices. From phones on us to unbeatable BOGO deals, you'll find something for everyone. That all comes with premium data and hotspot usage that's actually unlimited. Our holiday savings are valid for both new and current customers, but the offers end soon. So hurry into your local Viero store today. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
What are we doing?
What are you hungry for, honey?
Pizza sounds really good right now.
Stuffed crust or...
No, I want real hometown style pizza. Lamato's has the best pie in town, and they have this one that has cream cheese on it, which is to die for. Next stop, Lamato's Pizza on 9th Street, please.
Ask for cream cheese on your pizza or just go traditional. 623-2888 for delivery or carryout. Lamato's Pizza, downtown Hayes.
Ask for cream cheese on your pizza? Abso-freaking-lutely, baby.
When in drought, use your water smarts. Consider these simple tips to save water at home. Follow rules your community has put into place to restrict water use. Check for leaks in your faucets, toilets, and shower heads. Replace water wasting fixtures with high-performing WaterSense labeled models. Take a sprinkler break or use water smart landscaping techniques. Get creative and find ways to reuse water rather than wasting it. For more ways to use your water smarts, visit watersmarthays.com.
Get ahead of the fall rush with Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes. Don't wait until the chill sets in. Our skilled technicians are standing by to make sure your home is ready for the changing season. Schedule your plumbing and heating system checkup now and experience worry-free comfort all season long. Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes.
Don't wait because you will.
It's a bird.
It's a plane!
It's Warrior Woman. She's your mother, your doctor, a teacher, or a friend. She could be anyone. Hot Works of Hayes and My Town Media present Warrior Woman of the Week Pizza Giveaway. Nominate her by going to our Facebook page or by calling 785-222-3400. One winner will be chosen each week and will receive a free large pizza courtesy of Old Chicago in Hayes. Nominate your Warrior Woman today.
Here on Barbecue Radio Network, you know, I just love it getting to talk to Jess because, you know, she's gives you this information in a way that is super consumable. So immediately when we're talking about frozen meat, and I'm like, oh my God, there's 2 cups of juice in the bag. Like she walks you off the ledge, right?
Right. Yeah, I love that, you know, she takes all that meat science and has all that knowledge, but she's really applying it for those of us that just cook at home, you know? So, man, I was just geeking out. It was awesome listening to her.
Yeah, sometimes I have to like smack myself a little bit and come back to reality and go, no, it's not that big a deal. I don't, just because I'd frozen that steak and there was some moisture loss in the bag, I don't have to inject the thing or do any of that. Like, I can just cook the steak.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's good to kind of have some of that background to push you into that and get you to think about that. You know, it's always fun to have those conversations, but you know what? Now I've got to go home and try and make some bacon because I haven't done that in a hot minute.
With some cherry powder.
No, I'm not going to use cherry powder. I'm going to just go get some good old Prague number 2 and call it good. Maybe even go get a little stuff to make some summer sausage with. I'm feeling like fermentation.
Make some bacon and then you could have a bacon burger. You could put it on your burger.
Ooh, we are going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
So, you know, it is time now for our All Things Barbecue product spotlight. So check out www.atbbq.com at All Things Barbecue. That is where barbecue legends are made. So get fired up and get everything you need to do it all at All Things Barbecue. And, you know, for our product today, Todd, where are we headed with that?
Well, we're talking burgers today. So we need a burger press. I know I need one. I'm actually going to buy one of these. The Napoleon Grills Gourmet Slider and Burger Press Kit. So for $20, you not only get a burger press where you can shape your burger patties, but you also get another twin slider press. So $20 Napoleon Grills. I bought a Napoleon grill last year, gas grill, love it. Cooked some burgers on it here last weekend. They turned out great. So let's talk some burgers.
And you know, that burger press, I wonder, can you use the little one inside the big one to make like a stuffed beer can burger where you make that, you know, make the burger shape. Normally you do it at the bottom of a beer can, and then you can load all of your grilled mushrooms and Swiss and
You're so
everything.
fancy,
inside.
Andy. You're so fancy.
I'm kind of bougie with the
You
burger.
are a little bougie with your burger, little burger bougie.
That's right. That's exactly right. So let's talk about burgers. What's the?
Well, let's talk about meat, right? So, what I like doing a brisket burger, and so when ground beef prices have been so high, it really makes sense to just buy a brisket at, maybe $3, $4 a pound and grind it yourself, because you're going to end up with a much better product than the ground beef you're going to buy in the store. So recently I had a couple of briskets and just cut them all up, which was kind of hard at first, taking and cubing up a whole packer brisket. But when I do that, I like to separate as much as I can the fat from the meat, so that I can kind of control when I'm grinding how much of each is going in at the time. Sometimes I'll actually grind them separate. I'll grind the meat and set that aside, and then I'll grind the fat and set that aside and try to mix and incorporate, so I'm doing a more even blend.
Yeah, and if you think about, if you're shopping at the grocery store for your ground beef, maybe you're buying a 70-30 blend, and maybe you're buying a 90-10, or even, I've seen the 98.2% ultra lean ground beef. And obviously, if you're going for a healthier bent and that higher protein content, you're going to want a little bit leaner ground beef. If you want flavor, though, and Jess said it last segment, that fat that's in that muscle structure is what is used as the vehicle to get that flavor to you. So for me, even if it's going to be like a big, thick steakhouse style burger that you could use a little bit leaner meat on, I still love like a 70-30. Yeah. I want a good greasy burger, whether I'm smashing it or doing a big smoke.
70-30, 75-25, right in there. And from what I understand, that's about what you get if you grind a whole brisket. It's going to be about a 70-30. It might be a 75-25, but most times it's going to be a 70-30. So it really works great. And again, what I've understood from meat scientists at Certified Angus Beef is that the fat in a brisket is very monosaturated. So the fat in the brisket is going to be a much better fat in your burger. It's going to melt really well, and it's going to perform really well. So I don't know. Have you ground brisket into burger?
Oh, yeah. So, I love to grind brisket, and like you said, you've got some trim floating around from briskets that you've cooked. I'll save all of my trim, and I save the fat as well, because I like to take, and I do some dry aging too, so I'll pull off a little bit of my dry age trim, and then prior to putting it in, I'll pull any of those edges off so that I've got a nice round roast. And so I like to do brisket point with some strip loin. I love a good strip for texture, and then chuck.
So when you grind, what I've learned is to send it through twice. So the bigger holes on your die for your grinder, send it through, separate. Typically, I'll separate the fat into one pile and the meat into another pile. Yep. But then I'll run it all back through again, and then I'll toss. What other So chuck, you like putting some chuck in there?
Yeah,
you like
I love to put some chuck and strip in with that mix. And then, there's like Pat LaFrieda's got their $1 million burger blend. I think it's got filet in it and some stuff like that, which, that would create a nice texture and give you some of that texture and give you that feel. But for me, if I eat a burger, it's all about flavor, and brisket point and chuck roast have a ton of flavor, and strip is a really good steaky flavor, and it's got a little bit of chew. It doesn't get as soft as a ribeye when you cook it, so I like that texture and flavor with that mix. And I usually do 1-to-1 if I can do it.
Yep. So cooking style, how do you like to do your burgers? I'm using my gas grill right now, and I haven't used a gas grill in years, and I'm just really liking it. It performs really well. I like to do about maybe a 1/3 pound burger and, smash it down, put it on the grill. I don't know about you, but I do not season the inside. I don't mix seasoning into my grind. I want that on the surface.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
want it. I don't want it inside. And the other thing is, I'm not going to do. Even if I did, I wouldn't do that ahead of time. Like that's going to be, season it and throw it on the grill.
And for me, I'm doing it one of two ways. I'm either throwing a griddle on the grill.
Yep.
And I'm doing a smash burger. So I'll start with a 1/4 pound ball. And I've got I believe it's actually made by Blackstone, but it's a really nice weight that's probably designed for bacon.
Yeah, bacon
but
press
you
kind
can
of thing.
you can smash a burger and get it super thin and get those lacy edges.
Yeah.
And I'll do double burgers with cheese, smoked bacon, grilled onions in a pan on the gas grill right next to that griddle. And I can nail smash burgers. Or I'm going the other direction and I'm doing a big, thick 1/3 pound that I can turn into like a beer can burger and stuff it full of all kinds of goodness.
All right, so let's do a little speed round. How do you like your burger done?
Well.
Shut up.
No, I'm kidding. The look on your face. You said speed round. I give you one word and the look on your face. I like it cooked well. How about that?
medium rare for me.
Medium rare for you. I'm more of a medium well guy. I like a medium to medium well. I like it pink, but I don't want it red. Because red to me, well, if I'm grinding my own, I'm not as worried about it. If I'm buying store-bought ground, I always take it to medium.
All right, cheese, no cheese. If cheese, what kind of cheese?
Always cheese, smash burger, American, big burger, pepper jack.
All right, I agree with the American. I like provolone
provolone is good
on a burger. All right, so dress. How do you like it dressed? Pickle, onion.
I am super simple. Pickled onion, or grilled onion, bacon. Done.
Okay.
Oh, and maybe a little bit of like a grill sauce, sriracha mayo or something.
Okay. All right. So here's the big one. Egg or no egg?
Only for breakfast.
You won't put a fried egg on a burger.
No, not usually. It's.
All right.
I bet it'd be amazing though, but it's too much for me.
All right.
Well, that is awesome. We want to thank Jess Pryles again for joining us today. Check her out and subscribe.
This is Compass Media Network's presentation of the NFL.
30 out of the gun, looking left, deep shot down the sideline, caught at the 45, breaking free at the 20, angling back in toward the goal line, and crossing it for the score. Brandon Ayuk from 76 yards.
There's a pitch to Kamara. Sweeping near right side at the 10. Kamara to the 5. Still going. Cuts inside left. Touchdown Saints. Ritter under center. Algier the tailback. Play action fake. Ritter throws it out in the left path. Smith's got it. Touchdown Atlanta. Welcome to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where the Atlanta Falcons host the New Orleans Saints. Today's coverage of the NFL is sponsored by Charmin, Indeed.com, Granger, Wendy's, and by NFL.com.
You're home for NFL Sunday all season long in Hayes and Great Bend. It's KXNC, Nest City, 104.7 KISS FM.
Now, let's head to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, where Bill Rosinski and Steve Berline kick off today's coverage of the National Football League on Compass Media Networks. Hello, everyone. Along with Steve Berline, I'm Bill Rosinski. Jeff Biggs will join us shortly from the Compass Media Network studios in Los Angeles. In college football, there's a committee that decides who makes the playoffs. There are no committees in the National Football League. You have to earn your way in, and every coach in the league will tell you the quickest way to get to the playoffs is win your division. And we've got a big one for you this afternoon here in Atlanta. The New Orleans Saints at 5-5 lead the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons are 4-6. Winner of this game has control of the division. And Steve Berline, this is a great matchup. These two sides, they don't like each other. I came here in 93 to be the voice of the Falcons for a few years. Didn't realize the hatred that the Falcons and Saints fans had for each other, and it's been going on for a long time.
Well, a couple things, Bill. Number one, you're 100% right about the importance of this game today. And believe me, in these locker rooms, both coaches are emphasizing
All that matters is find a way to get to the dance. If we win this game today, we are in control of our own destiny. That is huge. But then you just hit another big factor today, right on the head as well. These teams do not like each other. In the NFL, I played on 6 different teams. Every one of the teams I played on, there is a specific rivalry where these teams just do not like each other. And that is the sense you get walking around Atlanta. Usually it's kind of a little bit of a doldrum, a little bit quiet, not a whole lot of energy. Today, walking into this stadium, you could hear people chanting and talking smack out there. The fans feel it, and believe me, the players and the whole organizations feel it.
Yeah, there were a lot of hoodads in town last night spending their money.
at dinner.
That's right. That's right. All right. Both these defenses have been pretty good. The offenses have struggled. And let's start with Derek Carr and the Saints. I thought when they signed him with the receivers, the running back Kamara, and all that they had going, this would be something special, and it's not.
You and me both. I was very excited for Derek Carr coming out of his situation with the Raiders. Obviously very disappointed with how that thing all unfolded. But I thought before it even happened, this New Orleans football team was the perfect landing spot for him. I was excited. I thought he was going to come out like gangbusters and really set the NFL on fire and reestablish himself as one of the top quarterbacks in the league. It hasn't happened. He's been hurt a little bit, yes, no doubt about it, but he has not produced this team. He's only completing 6.7 yards per attempt. There's no big plays out of what should be a very explosive offense. I think it's been very disappointing. That's the difference offensively for this team. He has to step up. And then on the other side, you got Desmond Ridder for the Atlanta Falcons coming back to start today after a couple weeks off. I think he's been a huge disappointment for the Falcons. I think he's been holding this offense back. They are not making nearly enough explosive plays, and that is what's really the key and what the real limiting factor is for the Atlanta Falcons. So it comes down to quarterback play without a doubt.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes, amazingly, right?
About 50 degrees, chance of rain today. The dome is closed. The roof is closed on this dome, so that's a good thing. More of today's coverage from Atlanta coming up. When we come back, Jeff Biggs dives deeper into this matchup as we get you set for the Falcons and the Saints. You're listening to Compass Media Networks. This is the NFL.
This holiday season, Capital One reminds you to give yourself the gift of 1.5% cash back with the Capital One Quicksilver Card.
Can I earn 1.5% cash back on birds? Birds? What if you sent your true love 2 turtle doves plus...
Sure, but why would anyone want that? The song was very convincing. Earn 1.5% cash back on all your holiday purchases with the Capital One Quicksilver Card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
The Pro Bowl games presented by Verizon are taking over Orlando with the league's biggest star players and you. Don't miss a special Black Friday deal. $10 off all tickets now through Monday, November 27th. If you buy tickets today, you'll unlock 30% off NFL Shop. Be there live for skills competitions, NFL legends, and more. All leading up to Sunday's star-studded AFC versus NFC flag football finale at Camping World Stadium on February 4th. Get your tickets at ProBowl.com/Friday today. Limited time only. Offer ends November 27th.
Cyber Golden Gable deals are going on now at Lowe's. Right now, get the best deals of the season, like up to 40% off select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees, holiday lights, and more. Plus, get up to 50% off select tools and accessories from brands like DeWalt, Craftsman, and Cobalt. Start shopping today to find these savings in-store and online, because Lowe's knows deals. Valid through 11/27 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
I'm Justin Jefferson with the Minnesota Vikings. Hi, I'm Jamar Chase with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Nobody can stop it.
Why do I choose a Sleep Number smart bed? Because I only go all out. Because I can't be stopped. Because my Sleep Number smart bed helps me sleep at the right temperature all night. So we can take our game to the next level. That's why 80% of NFL players choose the Sleep Number smart bed. Sleep next level, perform next level.
And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add a base, and Cyber Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, the official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL.
This is the NFL on Compass Media Networks.
All right.
Everybody ready? Now,
To dive deeper into today's matchup, here's your host, Jeff Biggs.
Live in Los Angeles. We hope that you had a great Thanksgiving and welcome to Week 12 Sunday in the NFL here on Compass Media Networks as we bring you a battle for the top spot in the NFC South as the New Orleans Saints visit the Atlanta Falcons. I'm Jeff Biggs from our studios in Los Angeles, and no leftovers here with both teams well rested and ready to go coming off their bye week. For Dennis Allen and the first place Saints, right now they are alone atop the NFC South at 5-5.
We've kind of been a little bit of a tale of two teams in that the first part of the season, we struggled offensively and defensively, played pretty well. That's kind of flipped a little bit over the last 5 weeks, and we need to get back to playing the type of defense that we played earlier in the season. That was probably the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me.
The Saints defense is still in the top 10, and today a boost for the offense with the return of quarterback Derek Carr, who was in the concussion protocol.
For me personally, I needed it. I have never been hurt this much in my life in one season, so it's been a little frustrating, but I had a week off to get back right, so we'll be ready.
Speaking of quarterbacks, for Arthur Smith and the Falcons, Desmond Ridder is set to return after getting benched in Week 9.
Coming off the bye, we think that's gives us the best chance, and got a lot of confidence in Des. We think the last couple of weeks he's handled it really well. A lot of things going on, and I think the reset very beneficial for him. He's done a lot of good things. We've got a lot of confidence in Des going forward.
Ridder, who is 4-4, struggled with turnovers, but says he is ready to go after a 2-game break.
Obviously, to have the opportunity to be back out there, just going to take full advantage of it. That's just what I've tried to do, is just try to come in every single day as if I was a starter. And, if the circumstances happen where I wasn't, such as the past couple of weeks, I'm going to be ready to go when my name is called.
Ridder has a 5-1 record at home as a starter, but at 4-6, the Falcons went into their bye with a 3-game losing streak.
You would think that, a team might be, we're down and out or whatever it may be, but we have everything in front of us. We still have the division in front of us. We have this game in front of us, and we have everything that we want to go get in front of us. So, this team is hungry.
And this is a rivalry game with Cam Jordan and the Saints looking to continue their recent success. The Saints have beaten the Falcons in 6 of the last 7, including a sweep last season.
This is not a rivalry week. This is hate week. This sort of conflicts what Thanksgiving is, but I guess I'm thankful for this rivalry.
The Saints have also won 5 in a row in the ATL, with Arthur Smith and the Falcons hoping to avoid another L today.
We got to be ready to go because it's a huge game for us. Final stretch of the season with everything to play for, awesome atmosphere. We're excited to be a part of it.
Today marks the 109th meeting all-time between the two teams, with the series all tied at 54-54. When we come back, we will have a conversation with Falcons nose tackle David Onyemata. You're listening to the NFL on Compass Media Networks.
Get ahead of the fall rush with Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes. Don't wait until the chill sets in. Our skilled technicians are standing by to make sure your home is ready for the changing season. Schedule your plumbing and heating system checkup now and experience worry-free comfort all season long. Worth Heating, Plumbing, and Air Conditioning of Hayes.
Don't worry, because you're worth it.
Carbon monoxide, or CO, is a silent killer. It's a deadly gas with no scent, color, or taste. Common CO sources are gas furnaces, propane space heaters, gas grills, and portable generators used indoors, and exhaust from automobiles. It's important to make sure you have a working CO detector in your home. Change your CO detector's batteries each year and check your detector's expiration date and replace as needed. A safety message from Midwest Energy, a customer-owned cooperative, making energy work for you.
The Taco Shop in Hayes has been serving the area since 1970. November specials include Taco Burger, $2.49, Taco Supreme, $2.59, and Chicken Burrito, $4.79. Call for non-contact delivery or download the app today.
Come on down to the Taco Shop. You never had it. You never had it so good. Taco Shop.
Simpson Farm Enterprises carries the Apache line of sprayers, and there's a reason. In fact, there's several reasons. Apache sprayers come in 5 different models to fit every size of operation. They feature premium technology and the exclusive power-to-the-ground mechanical-driven traction. Most of all, the 5-year warranty offered by Apache is unmatched. That's why they have the highest retained value in the industry. See Simpson Farm Enterprises today at any of their 5 locations and spray with the best you can buy.
Telephone, wireless, internet, and TV. Connected all together with GBT. When your home or business needs security, connected all together with GBT. Nextech Wireless has a plan to serve your needs. See how easy switching over now can be. We're the gateway to broadband and technology. Connected all together with GBT.
Pick up a class this spring or earn your associate degree online for less than half the cost of a university with Barton Online. We're always enrolling, so you can get started anytime. We have 16-week and 8-week sessions starting January 22nd and 4 more sessions throughout the rest of the semester. Tackle your gen eds or the first 2 years of college and save time and money with Barton Online. Visit online.bartoncccc.edu and enroll today.
Tom Izzo wants timeout.
Welcome back to the NFL on Compass Media Networks. Week 12 Sunday in the NFL, and we are getting ready for the Saints and the Falcons. And joining us now, a former Saint in his first season with Atlanta, Falcons defensive lineman David Onyemata. David, how are you? Thank you for joining us.
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing excellent, thank you. And how about you guys? It was a little tough going into your bye, but what's the mood of the team coming out and heading into the game today?
It's been great, especially getting a week to reflect on, where we're at right now in the season and, where we want to be. So it's been great.
What's interesting is when you look at your record, and especially during this 3-game losing streak, your last 6 games have been 1-score games.
No, that's the thing. That's the NFL. It comes down, most of the games come down to the last minute. So it's a thing where you just got to look at it from a point of view where you got to make 1 extra play or 2 extra plays, and we wouldn't, be in the situation we're at right now.
And for you personally, how does it feel getting to face your former team for the first time after 7 years in New Orleans?
Yeah, I really don't think much about it. It's another game. That's just my mindset. I don't think anything changes with my approach going into games. Because to be honest, it's just the next game on our schedule right now.
We're speaking with Falcons nose tackle David Onyemata here on Compass Media Networks. And David, I don't think a lot of people know about your story. From Africa to Canada to the NFL, what has the journey been like for you?
It's been great. I couldn't, would have thought this would have been where I'll be at right now, but it's still a story that's writing itself, still going through it right now. So I guess I haven't really reflected on that. So that's the tough part.
And I have to ask, when did you first discover football and develop that passion to play at the highest level?
18. I was 18, but when I got to Canada, so at the age of 18. So that's kind of when I kind of saw the game a couple times on TV and, kind of wanted to give it a shot at that point.
And finally, it's a big game against a team you know very well. What are the keys for a Falcons victory?
Just execution. Executing on all phases. I think you do that in any game, you're going to come out victorious. So the big thing is just going out there and executing the calls or being fundamentally sound as well. It's like it might sound basic or simple, but at the end of the day, those are things you have to do to win games.
Hey, David, I really enjoyed speaking with you, my man. Have a great game today.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Falcons D lineman David Onyemata. We'll take a quick timeout, and when we return, our first look at the scoreboard on this Week 12 Sunday in the NFL, and we've got Steve Berline's keys to the game, followed by the opening kick between the Saints and the Falcons. You're listening to Compass Media Networks. This is the NFL.
So you're ready to propose.
Yes, I am.
You told her friends. And you got the ring.
Well,
Luckily, there's Gage Diamonds with engagement rings in every style for every budget with certified natural diamonds.